Hello and welcome to this video. Now in this video, we're going to take a quick tour of the new quizzes in Canvas. So if you've been using classic quizzes, this new tool may offer some insight and also some powerful upgrades, including better question variety, a modular design, and analytics to help you support student learning and success maybe even more effectively. Now in this video, it'll just be an overview, so don't worry, we're not diving into individual question types yet. I'll be walking you through the interface just so you can get a feel for it and showing you how to create a new quiz and give you a preview of what is actually possible. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, here you can see I'm on my home page with my Canvas course. I'm at home, and then on the left-hand navigation, again, we go to quizzes. So I'll click on quizzes here, and then where do we go? We go to plus quiz in the top right corner. So add a quiz. And now you can see these options, the new quizzes or the classic quizzes. So Canvas asks you to choose between the classic or new quizzes. So I'm going to select new quizzes for this one and then submit. Now we come to this page where it looks very familiar. All of this looks probably pretty familiar. You have the points, the assignment group, the dates that this assignment and quiz is available from and due. But let's give our assignment name here. So we're going to title this Sample New Quiz. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to select Save. Since this is a live class, I'm not going to save and publish yet. I'm just going to select Save. And then once we select Save, then we can start building. However, this looks vastly different, doesn't it? Because now we are inside the new quizzes builder. So right away it feels different, but you'll see tabs on the top for build, settings, moderate, reports, exports, things like that. We'll get to some of that. But right now, let's click the plus button here. So if we click this plus sign here, it shows you what types of questions we can build. So Canvas offers these traditional question types like multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank that the classic quizzes do, only there's more options with the new quizzes. So now we see things like hotspot, we see things like stimulus. Now, hotspot is where students click on part of an image. Say, if you're in a psychology class, if you're teaching about the brain, you can upload an image of the brain and ask students to identify where the hippocampus is. And so they can scroll over to the image and select where it is. So I'm just going to explore that a little bit. So you have this format here, and this is where you would drop the image. But let's go back. Then we have categorization. And categorization is where students can drag and drop items into categories. So let's say you make a quiz as an example to check a student's understanding of maybe some deeper conceptual understandings of grouping or comparing traits or sorting based on rules or relationships. So as an example, if I click on that, you could make the question stem here. What you would tell students to do is to sort the following items into a correct category, and you might put fruit and vegetable. Here you see the category. So you could put fruit, vegetable, and then what students would do is they would move apple into the fruit category, banana into the fruit category, maybe carrot into the vegetable category, broccoli into the vegetable category. So this is just an example, just something very simple so we understand. And now as we go back, we see the stimulus. So the stimulus is a block of text or chart or video or image that you can have students review before answering one or more related questions. So you can write multiple questions that follow the same stimulus. So this mimics real-world tasks where students interpret information and then are able to respond. So this is great for like interpreting data or maybe reading comprehension after they read through something and then test it on it, and even applied analyses like data analysis, whatever it might be. So I'm going to select that and just show you a brief overview. So you have the title, the instructions, the content, but you might have a question that says which country had the greatest overall increase in emissions, and then students would be able to answer that, and we'll get to that in a further video. Now, one quick tip here, many universities have been cautious in fully adopting Canvas's new quizzes due to several factors. So while new quizzes is intended to eventually replace classic quizzes, something you may have heard, the transition has been gradual, and some institutions actually continue to rely on classic quizzes. And this is why a lot of faculty aren't really sure about what to do next, since new quizzes really lack certain functionalities that are present in classic quizzes. So surveys, the new quizzes, do not support upgraded or graded surveys that's available in classic quizzes. Also, question banks. Classic quizzes uses question banks, which are not directly compatible with new quiz bank items. So the migration between the two is not really straightforward. Also, the rich content editor, some functionalities of the RCE or rich content editor are a bit limited in new quizzes compared to the classic quizzes. There's also some migration challenges from transitioning from classic to new quizzes that isn't very seamless. And although Instructure plans to phase out classic quizzes, no definite retirement date has been set. This uncertainty really leads institutions to continue to use classic quizzes. Those are just a few of the reasons why. Okay, let's get back into it. Now, I just wanted to show you here that you do have the settings, the moderate reports and exports. So this setting tab, you can see that you can select this and shuffle answers. So this is very similar to classic quizzes. So shuffle quiz questions or shuffle answers, quiz answers. So this would randomize answer order for each student. This doesn't affect matching or categorization though. You can see time limit on there, so it does have the same functionality as classic quizzes, again with time limit, and also number of tries allowed. If you go to allow multiple attempts, so it has that same functionality. So that's under the settings tab. And then when you go to moderate, that's where you can customize your quiz access for individual students. So that would be typically for accommodations or issues like maybe if they had network interruptions during a quiz, you can add extra time or an extra attempt for a particular student and even manually reopen attempts. And then the reports tab here, this would provide analytics on quiz performance. So it would include item analysis, which shows how each question performed, including the item difficulty, the average score, the discrimination index. Again, it also shows outcome analysis. So if outcomes are aligned, this tracks students' performance against course outcomes. Then you can see the report. Then you have the exports tab, and this allows you to download quiz content or view student results. So you can export the student attempts in a CSV file, which is great for offline grading or analysis. All right, so that's our quick tour of new quizzes in Canvas. Now it's designed to be flexible, accessible, and even a bit more modern than classic quizzes. And if you're looking to create more interactive or meaningful assessments for your students, it's definitely worth looking into. Now in the next video, we'll dive into specific types of questions, especially categorization. We'll look at that so you can see how to build one from start to finish and how to use it to promote student success and understanding. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.